Hello and welcome to Animated Wonders, an Explosion Network podcast where we celebrate animation in all of its forms. This is Animated Wonders. In this season, we'll be discussing older films in the Despicable Me and Minions franchise. Hello, my name's Blight. Joining me to discuss today's Animated Wonder is Ashley Hobley.
Hey John, I'm excited to be here to talk about all things yellow.
Sorry, that's the wrong process. But today we're talking about Minions, released in 2015, comes from the United States, directed by Pierre Coffin, Carl Balder, written by Brian Lynch, comes from, of course, Illumination and Universal Pictures. The cast was Sandra Bullock, John Hamm, Michael Keaton, Alison Janney, Steve Coogan, Jennifer Saunders, and Jeffrey Rush. Synopsis: Minions Stuart, Kevin, and Bob are recruited by Scarlet Overkill, a supervillain who, alongside her inventor husband Herb, hatches a plot to take over the world. So I'll say from the get-go, because I couldn't remember when we talked about the first Despicable Me, what I had or had not watched. What I've come to realize is I haven't watched any of the Minions movies, is what I think is. So I've only watched Despicable Me. I've watched the Minions. Okay. That's my discovery. I remember some parts from the trailers and stuff, but as I was watching it, I'm like, I remember seeing that. And then at first I thought I'd seen the movie, but I was like, no, I don't remember any of this. So I just remember that must have been in the trailer.
Yep.
Yeah. So have you watched this one, and what were your thoughts?
I definitely saw this one, possibly in cinemas, but it's been a while, so those things I've forgotten until they happened. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that bit, and that kind of stuff,
So how'd you feel on this rewatch then?
It's fine. I feel like obviously it's definitely leaning heavily into the Minions humor and that kind of stuff. So I think if your favorite part of Despicable Me is the Minions, this is gonna sate you. I did enjoy the documentary aspect of the film, which I think they did really well. Yeah, like in general, I think it is technically a documentary about how they came to.
That's how they met.
Yeah, so getting into the mythology of the Minions and how they originated and all that kind of stuff, that's a lot of fun. So, and then it's just a bunch of crazy adventures, involving Stuart, Bob, and Kevin.
Yep. Yeah. So I just wrote down for themes nothing other than it's dumb fun. I assume for all these Minions movies, this will probably be the same case. I have no problem with it. They're definitely aimed at the kids. They're just meant to be. It's just meant to be. Yeah,
slapstick fun.
It's slapstick comedy, which I appreciate. I quite enjoyed the movie. This type of humor is fun to me. This slapstick humor and stuff. I mean, in a lot of ways, I'm like, at the end of the day, a big Jackass universe, fan and stuff. At the end of the day, all that's just people getting hit and you laugh at it and stuff. And this is the same. So it's weird as I can relate these franchises, but it's just.
I think you could argue that the theme is arguably finding your right place in the world.
I guess barely.
That's what the Minions. That's what the Minions are trying to do the whole time, trying to find the place that they're meant to be through the centuries, and it's also about toxic relationships.
Well, I guess so. Yeah. The other thing I just get your thoughts on, because I'm trying to make sense of it. The opening credits, they're single. What do you call it? Single cell organisms who never evolve. But even as single-cell organisms, we're chasing other organisms to still be their boss. And those organisms develop over time until you get to like dinosaur ages and stuff. But they're still just the little yellow dudes. Right? That's what that...
Well, they evolved a little bit.
To what? To Tic Tacs? Like...
to become indestructible, unkillable.
Are they unkillable, indestructible? Because they fear.
Have you killed a minion?
No, I haven't. Yeah, but obviously at the end of the movie, they think. Which one? Kevin? No, Kevin.
Yeah, but he's not. They don't know they're unkillable, but
I guess
they are. Okay. He literally had a giant missile inside of him.
Yeah, it didn't blow up, did it?
Yeah, no.
I took it as he spat it out.
He somehow shrunk.
Yeah.
Incredible.
The film is just a bunch of. I don't think there was. I think the story, the narrative, was written around a bunch of dumb bits. Is how I
potentially, yes.
I think the bits and the jokes and everything the set pieces or whatever you want to were first laid out, and then it literally was like, how do we write some sort of narrative to connect from A to B, to C to D to E? That's, again, no problem with it, but that's just how the movie comes across to me. It's sort of funny. The kids love Minions, and when this came out, I remember the kids love Minions. The adults hate Minions as like a general.
Like grown-up adults,
yeah.
Middle-aged adults.
Yeah, generalization, obviously, for both these things. I'm not saying all kids, because maybe some don't, but in general, Minions, kids love Minions, young kids love Minions, and then grown-up adults hate Minions. There's they're annoying element to
they're just too silly.
Yeah,
why don't they speak English?
We
live in a country where English is the first.
I looked it up. Apparently, Minonese, I think, is what they actually have it listed.
Yeah,
is a language that actually combines a bunch of other ones, and I think the main one's like Spanish or something. So they are speaking stuff. However, it is a combination of multiple languages, including English every now and then when they say one word you can understand. But it's not actually gibberish.
Yeah.
So if you happen to know the 6-7 different. Yeah, I guess, yeah. But if you happen to know the 6-7 or whatever amount of, I don't know why I said that, I'm fucking cooked, amount of languages that they are combining, then I guess you technically now speak Minonese as well.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the combining factors. But I remember when they announced the movie, because I hadn't watched it before, I did wonder like how it would go following Minions or something. But yeah, I think the choice to set after the start, you set off with our main three, who are very obviously meant to, I think, be similar to the main three girls from the franchise. And then you've got like the really young, like loves a teddy bear, and you got the grown up one and the more grumpy one or whatever. Do that and make them the vocal point. But I still did wonder how the movie would go, considering you don't understand what like they're saying most of the time. But it does a good job of doing that thing where it's like both slapstick humor plus you're watching so you understand what's happening, and then also having them slip in just one random word that you understand every now and then to have enough context what they're talking about and chasing after. Because it doesn't matter, as soon as he's like banana and chases it, everything else he's like blah, 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 blah. You're like, I don't know what he's saying, but something about bananas, like what's going on there. But yeah, and I quite enjoy that. I think that the dynamic they've managed to create between the three, by the time you do reach the end of this movie, you actually have a surprisingly good grasp on the relationship of these three minions, and especially in a world where they all look so similar and the same. Like they do a good job at separating these three.
I think at the start of the movie, you're concerned that you won't remember which is which, but by the end of the movie, they're very distinct, and you know who is who.
Yeah.
So that's a success.
I think that is a success and a positive for this. Another big thing for this movie that was worth pointing out. So it was the third animated film at the time to ever pass $1 billion at the box office. The other two being Disney/Pixar films. So again, the kids love Minions.
They went back again, back again.
What is the one? Because I can't remember at this stage. What is the one where everyone did was it the last one where they did the TikTok?
The last one, the Gentle Minions thing.
Yeah, was that the Rise of Gru or whatever?
Yes.
Which we haven't got to yet, but okay. I'm just trying to think where that, I have to remember to put that in the notes. Like cultural context. Memes galore.
Yes.
Yeah, Gentle Minions. Okay, very good. Is there anything else you want to discuss?
No, I mean, I think Sandra Bullock gives a good performance. Like,
yeah, she doesn't usually do this sort of stuff.
It's Scarlet.
Yeah, whatever her name is, Scarlet. Yeah. I just said it.
A little one note and like
Scarlet overkill.
Focused on one thing, but I think that works in this.
But
you know, it works in this. So
yeah, and Herb's fun. John Hamm's fun.
Yeah. And Jennifer Saunders is Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Who gets very salty when she's forced to abdicate.
Oh, here's the two that stole my regency or whatever shit.
How did that work out for you?
Yeah. Like at the end too, where it's like, well done, Bob. You had a successful 8 hours.
It's king.
Also like that when he's giving the speech. That is funny. King Bob! Everyone cheers. King Bob!
Yep.
It's funny.
And a totally realistic crowd reaction.
Yeah. Also the fact that the English are constantly just drinking tea in this. I enjoy a stereotypical good bit sometimes. And the tea. My favorite one was when the cop. No, the presenter was funny, but they cut to a cop car chasing at one stage. And the camera like slightly zooms in for him to take his hands off the wheel, pick up the teacup, and just pour it in as he's like, and then somehow then just put his hands both on the wheel. I don't know where the teacup went, but anyway, good bit.
Teacup holder. All the rage in Britain.
Maybe. I don't know. Pick the two elements of the film that stood out the most for you. Animation, visual style, music and sound design, voice performances, world building, emotional impact.
I would go world building because they've fleshed out the world. They expanded the world of supervillains, I guess, at the time, like with the villain con and all that kind of stuff. That was all fun. And then it would be, I guess, animation, visual style, just because it looks pretty good, like, and especially that opening is like a really interesting, like, subtle tweak to the animation style, with the evolution kind of thing. It's like almost painterly at a point. But yeah, I mean, the way they do some of the visual gags, I think, is quite impressive. Yeah.
I'm gonna go world building for all the same stuff you said, but I'm gonna go voice performances, not because there's any like dramatic or crazy ones, but I do think this job does the best. This film, does the best job at sort of highlighting, because they're all done by Pierre Coffin, who does the director and writes directs all the Despicable Me movie and stuff. But this one, considering it's a whole movie where he's voicing all these different characters, and I think there is differentiating between the three and the way they're done, and just the way that the language is presented in the context of this full film. I do think it's a good job. So,
do you think he gets paid per minion, or like the time in the booth, or does he write it off because he's the director, or?
I don't know, because technically it would still have to be part of
SAG,
SAG, because he's an actor as well. So, don't know, but it's an interesting question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite scene, sequence, or character?
It's a toss-up. I think it might be when they hitchhike and they get picked up by the family.
Michael Keaton and that,
yeah, who turn out to be a family bankrupt. And they're also going to villain con, and just the running gag of them showing up all the time, even though they've moved to another continent, and yet they show up. So I enjoyed that. What about you?
I don't know, it's just maybe the King Bob bit. I'm just gonna say Bob's my favorite. I'll just pick character. I'll pick a character for this movie. Just say Bob in general. Just a little adorable guy,
Adorable guy, desperately want to go on the mission.
I feel bad for him at the start.
Last kid picked.
You hear him like coming like, anyone else, basically, and he's like,
please.
So no, I'm gonna go Bob. I appreciate Bob. He's out there just trying to live his life.
Also, I did thoroughly enjoy like the cutaways to the rest of the minions throughout the film, whether it's them becoming the minions for a Yeti, who they proceeded to accidentally kill.
Yep.
Them running away from a polar bear on a block of ice, and then having to like pushing away, and then pushing away from a grizzly bear on the other end, and then accidentally going to Australia.
Yep.
Which geographically, I don't know how it's possible.
Sense. No, I don't think
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It also doesn't make sense that there's just a chasm between Australia and India, apparently.
No. The universe of this franchise doesn't make much sense.
It's squished.
Yeah.
That was all fun.
Yeah.
It's super realistic. All those minions would travel by kangaroo across the country.
I think so. That's how I look out for them every day. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Animated Wonders. Let us know what you thought of the film on social media at explosionnetwork.com/follow. If you enjoyed the show, you can find more podcasts, reviews, and pop culture coverage over at explosionnetwork.com. And if you'd like to support the podcast and Explosion Network, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. Until the next episode, remember that animation is cinema.